Since his introduction as the main villain of the final saga of the Black Clover manga, Lucius Zogratis has made some pretty bold proclamations as well as some very maniacal moves, spanning from the pausing of Damnatio to the consumption of Lucifero's heart. There seems to be a lot to unpack about this character, and while I intend to do a full character analysis, that would be in another video. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stick around. But for today, we're going to be discussing what we have seen so far and the potential trajectory of Lucius Zogratis' plans, and essentially what to expect from Lucius Zogratis as a villain. Alright, so following his introduction in chapter 331 of the Black Clover manga, we're made to understand that Lucius had been lurking deep within the shadows, monitoring and manipulating the string of events that had occurred in the Spade Kingdom arc, and even before, by using Julius Novochrono, the Wizard King, as his unwilling puppet. Interestingly enough, during Damnatio's confrontation of Julius, it was also made known to us that Astaroth, the Supreme Devil of Time, had been missing from the underworld for over 20 years, further drawing that connection to the Lucius/Julius entity. Now, following these jaw-dropping revelations, the next time that we see Lucius in chapter 332, we see that he's in the 7th layer of the underworld, performing what seems to be some sort of ritual on what remains of Lucifero. Now, personally, after seeing this panel, it became apparent that Lucius had always had the ability, or at some point was able to develop the ability, to travel freely between the underworld and the mortal realm. This explains how he was able to consistently be in contact with Adremelech and was able to fully explain his plan and coerce Adremelech into supporting him. And this ability of Lucius could also be a potential clue as to the whereabouts of Astaroth. I think Tabata did this on purpose, as it makes us think of all of the potential possibilities moving forward. Now, moving on, in another bold proclamation during this ritual, Lucius does not hesitate to inform Lucifero that the ones with the most brilliant magic are humans. He proceeds to devour Lucifero's heart, effectively absorbing him and concluding the ritual. Now, this gives some sort of insight as to the kind of ideology that Lucius Zogratis has, putting humans on this pedestal as higher than devils and all the other creatures. Now, based on what we know about Lucius Zogratis so far and his interaction with Lucifero, I believe it's safe to assume that whatever connection that Lucius has with Astaroth is most likely not a voluntary contract, though that could still be possible. And it is not implausible to assume that Lucius was able to fully absorb Astaroth those 20 years ago and tie the time magic that he acquired to the unwitting soul of Julius. Now, while this is quite the topic of discussion, I'm fairly convinced, based on the trajectory of the story and how Lucius has portrayed himself and his personality traits and beliefs, that this might be the most plausible theory. Alright guys, so if you made it this far in the video, please take a second to like the video, as it takes a lot of work to create these videos, and liking this video is a completely free and yet direct way of supporting the channel and helping us grow. Also, if you guys want me to do a Lucius Zogratis character analysis, then let's try to get this video up to 35 likes. I know you can do it. Okay, so moving on. Based on Julius's backstory, which I intend to do a more in-depth coverage of in the character analysis video, we learn a few things. One, the main thing being that Lucius and Julius were two souls in the same body. Now, following this reveal, I think we all pretty much understood that point, based on the fact that Julius was completely unaware of the manipulation that was going on. But how could this be, and why did this happen? We know that in Black Clover, it usually takes an anomaly for this type of thing to occur, one of those being reincarnation, like with the likes of William Vengeance and Yuno, whose bodies are inhabited by two souls. But perhaps in the case of Lucius and Julius, there might be another explanation, an explanation based off of Lucius's peculiar magic, which was revealed to us in chapter 334 as soul magic. It is possible that Julius is actually a fragment of Lucius's soul that was created at birth or for the purpose of being Wizard King, as we can see that they mirror each other and recognize each other's existence. And there was no indication of a reincarnation event ever occurring in the Spade Kingdom, or maybe it just hasn't been revealed to us yet. But there are also a few supporting sub-theories to this particular theory, because if this theory is true, then that would mean Julius should have some aspect of soul magic or soul manipulation, seeing that he's a fragment of Lucius' soul. And magic is tied to the soul. Now, Julius's transformations might instead be soul modifications or soul shiftings, which would explain why the captains and the people who knew him were unable to sense his presence through his mana or ki, because his soul was different. I intend to make a video explaining Lucius's soul magic and how he has used it to manipulate multiple events in Black Clover. So if that sounds interesting, drop a comment below to let me know that you guys are interested in me making that video. Alright, back to the video. I do think that it's apparent that Lucius intends to become the supreme being of the Black Clover universe, and I will cover this more in the character analysis, but he alludes to this while revealing his plan to Asta in chapter 333. He intends to recreate and rule over all of humanity, effectively becoming the ultimate Wizard King. And based on Lucius's backstory, the powers that he has absorbed and purified from two supreme devils, his magic type, soul magic, which he reveals has the power to alter souls, which is the essence of human magic, human spirit, and human life force, I think his true motives have become more clear. However, it is still unclear whether there are other beings who exist within the Black Clover story who possess the kind of divine power that Julius has now come to possess. I mean, we always expected angels to show up in the Black Clover universe, but this was completely unprecedented. That the first instance of the remotely divine would come from the purification of devil mana from two supreme devils. I think Tabata is writing a story that is truly epic and mind-blowing. And there are subtleties and nuances within the story so far, like the transformation of Sister Lily, who is a nun basically, to an angel, by Lucius Zogratis. I just thought that was very, very good writing. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for today's video. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and stick around for follow-up videos by subscribing, and make sure to have an awesome day. King N out.